BMG, of course, up 1-0, and looking forward to seeing how game number 2 now plays out. And Jesus, these guys they know what they wanted to draft, apparently, because we're already in the second tier of bands, and we literally just started here. Anyways, I'm joined by St. Rocks once again as my co-caster. Yeah, I guess both captains had a very good idea what they wanted here, because here we are in the second tier of bands. Magnus, Cthulhu Font, Wild Soul is what BMG wanted. Parasite, Aluna, and Doctor is what Complexity wanted. So, interesting start. They get the Wild Soul here on BMG. That's definitely kind of the standout here.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen I haven't seen Maso really perform. Like he has won a little bit here and there, but it seems like the hero still needs a little bit of work before it really, becomes, I don't know, it finds its own niche, I want to say, but maybe Fukushima has fought something up here. Last game it worked pretty well for him, his draft, so
Yeah.
definitely that could be a chance that he's been brainstormed up possibilities of making Wildsell work. So I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, we have seen Make played a couple times here, so expecting at least to possibly end up in his hands. But also interesting how Complexity, Doctor worked so well against them last game. They figure they're going to go it themselves, apparently. So we'll see how that works for them. But once again, too, they also do prioritize the Parasite pickup. They first picked it last game. They do that here once again. But you see PMG responding this time around with a Cthulhu Font, actually. So now they had a Legionnaire, but again, it wasn't even a jungle Legionnaire. It ended up being a laning Legionnaire pretty much the whole time. So I expect this time, though, it is going to actually be a jungle Cthulhu Font, though, as that's where it seems like
Yeah,
he fits best. So Corrupted Disciple coming out, not our usual carry. BMG likes that
no,
here.
and not particularly good against Doctor either.
True.
So, I mean, the CD, of course, is a carry that really relies on chasing down possibly melee heroes, but Doctor not really fitting into either being chaseable or melee. So, I wonder what their plan is here. Maybe they figured it was gonna be like hmm, a Doctor mid, something like that, and then followed up by a hard carry or some sort of semi carry in the short lane. But this feels like, yeah, definitely feels like an odd pick from Fusten here.
Hmm. Yeah, great point about that. I mean, the Doctor is the biggest thing to me. It's usually you would pick him up, because of a carry matchup, perhaps, or if you're looking to group up and team fight early. And okay, Demented Shaman, I guess he does definitely fit that role as well. So maybe we're just missing. I mean, Wild Soul usually doesn't scream, we want to push early on in this game. I mean, I guess he kind of does because of the boo-boo, so there is that. But as far as like big team fights early on, Wild Soul isn't necessarily. Maybe this new Wild Soul, though, is more of that. With that stomp ability, I guess I can see that being a little bit more of a realistic thing here. So
Yeah. I mean, Cthulhu and Disham also has some nice utility between themselves. Cthulhu can push his own creeps on top of the enemy heroes while stunning the heroes. So Disham can heal on the creeps and deal a ton of damage. I mean, that's a pretty strong dual lane. But I think they're going to be trialing this Disham, Cthulhu and possibly CD against the Doctor. That
okay,
could be it. And then Cthulhu would be in the enemy jungle, just popping in, eating the hard camp, and then coming out to gank the lane.
yeah.
And Madman. So they kind of had an idea with the CD pick there that Madman was going to happen or something like that was going to happen.
All right, they get the Madman here. It's a typical Complexity hero, but yeah, perhaps getting ready for the possibilities. That is of BMG. So, I mean, if you are Complexity, if you do expect that tri-lane, would they have Madman then go top to deal with it and send Doctor perhaps mid here, you think? Or
Yeah, that could definitely be a strong decision. They could also decide to go Paris and nah, Parasite is just never good against Cthulhu. So I was thinking they could, man up with a Luna, Pebbles, and Parasite and deal and like have a lot of damage that way. But that's a tough decision because Parasite is gonna suffer against the Cthulhu almost no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be suiciding Madman against the possible tri lane. Parasite has boots, so he's able to rotate into enemy jungle. And then bot lane, Pebbles is going to be farming, and Luna possibly rotating over to help him farm against CD. And Root is actually playing the Wild Soul.
Huh. Wow. That's definitely unexpected, yeah. Make's on the Magnus. Interesting.
Yeah, that could be that looks like a jungle Wild Soul. It's definitely a very effective. I've seen jungle Wild Soul farm really fast as well.
Houston has some interesting ideas here. Yeah, so we're going to an aggressive dual lane in the end of Demented Shaman Cthulhu Fawn. I mean, you mentioned the synergy is definitely there. I mean, they definitely bring that to the table. And Cthulhu Fawn, a cool thing about him, too, obviously you can go to the hard camp off of the lane and, quickly hook him a creep, then come back in. So, excuse me there. Yeah, I wonder if this is definitely going to throw off complexity a little bit. I mean, maybe when I'm sure they've realized by now, who's playing what, so maybe the idea that it could be a jungling Wild Soul's there, but I wonder if they're expecting Wild Soul to almost be in the aggressive jungle because of how they have it set up with the Cthulhu Fawn up here. If this is going to catch Parasite off guard, seeing Wild Soul in his own jungle. But I will say, Parasite is going to be able to avoid Cthulhu Fawn, which is the good news for him, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And he doesn't really mind the Wild Soul. Like, sure, Boo Boo will be able to, do the swipe thing on his creep, but it's still, Parasite is still not going to be that highly interrupted. And Disham is not even top lane anymore.
Huh, okay. Yeah, he's rotating. The bottom, I guess?
So they realized that their awesome plan with Cthulhu Fend and all that against the Pebbles lane top or the Doctor lane top, it didn't happen, so they're rotating over, making sure that Pebbles will not be farming too much against the CD solo.
So, but now that synergy is lost of Demented Shaman and Cthulhu Fawn, now he's going up with the Corrupted Disciple is not necessarily, with Demented with a non-melee hero in a lane, I feel like is pretty weak overall because of that idea where he can't really synergize with the healing wave. I mean, it's still, it's going to work out in the end, I'm sure, but it is just a little unfortunate. That you would think that they would rather have another hero in this case as a support.
Yeah. That the idea with Disham was definitely to hook it up with the synergy between Cthulhu Fan, but now that that's out in the out of the option, it's definitely seems like it's just a weak support at this point.
Well, at the same time though, she is strong against Pebbles. Pebbles already known for having a lot of armor and that healing wave, physical damage. It does some good damage to a middle lane. Doctor, he's gonna be fine, but
he went down to like 100 HP.
How? Jeez, against a Magnus?
Yeah, I think Mac had just hit a lot of creeps with the volcanic touch, and the stun as well.
Wow. He stays alive. Maybe he just figured he could tank some damage too. Obviously, he had a health potion there, so he does heal back up in the end. But yeah, he definitely was pretty low. In fact, Magnus going back in, gonna apply. Oh, he didn't get the volcanic touch to go off there. Missed out on a little bit of extra damage, but clearly playing pretty heavy harassment here. But the early bottle is going to be coming up shortly here. Wild Soul trying to box out Parasite a bit, and looks like he's doing that successfully here. As he's going to force him back to his own jungle. So Wild Soul off to a decent start. Parasite going to have to recover a little bit here in his own jungle. How is the Cthulhu Fawn Madman match? Because again, this has been a 1 versus 1 since the beginning. 18-1 Cthulhu Fawn, Madman 12-2. So Cthulhu Fawn's definitely had the better here.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Buxy put a lot of pressure on Madman here with stuns, so Oscar's definitely not having an easy time up here. And the stats goes to show as well. I find it hard to believe that Cthulhu Fawn is going to be able to kill Madman though, with the Stalk ability. So ultimately, I'd give the lane favor to Madman.
Yeah, that should probably not happen, but we'll see if Boxy. I've seen crazy things before, so.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Playing the Cthulhu Fawn here. He's obviously farming very well once again. Being able to go, like I said, to the hard camp over here and use the hook, as you saw right there, and get some free farm out of that. Obviously very powerful too. Apparently some DCs happening on the side of complexity, but
yeah, they love DCing.
I think that's sarcasm. I think there's a little bit of sarcasm there.
No, I think it's the player love.
Oh.
but I
Oh!
decided to go for it. I decided to go for the joke, man. I did it.
I didn't even think about that one. It got me. It got me.
All right.
Demented Shaman, I'm always interested too. Now, I've said time and time again that whenever I personally get the question asked about my favorite hero is, the one I find myself going back to is Demented Shaman. I've always loved this hero from the beginning. I love the Shadow Priest in Dota, prior, and just it's my kind of hero. It's a very supportive style of hero, heal heavy to an extent, but can also be aggressive at times if need be. So I'm always interested to see what the build looks like on Demented Shamans when others play it, because Entangling Roots, or Entangle, I guess, is an interesting ability where you ideally want the level 3 of it before it really starts being, a strong ability, because, at level 3 you get that 1 second stun out of it, as well as some actually good damage. So, but if you do go Q, then that means you're most likely not going to be getting any points in your W. You're unbreakable, which is a little unfortunate. But it looks like he is going to be going the Entangle build here, though. Is what I'm getting at.
Yep. I mean, I'm pretty sure the spell Entangle got rebalanced as well. It looks like it. Yeah, because it used to not have any stun at all for level 1 and level 2, and then it goes straight up to level 1 to like a 1 second stun level 3. But this time around, you could. I would not hate to see the Unbreakable just one level, because that's still 125 health. That's gonna be able to possibly save someone, and a little bit of extra damage on the auto attack as well. So definitely a spell that I would like to see just one level in, especially against the Pebbles of Luna.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm interested about too. I think you could actually make a valid concern, or not concern, but a point that he could actually be leveling up the Q over the E right here. So it's, if he was playing with the Cthulhu font, then wouldn't want to do that. You want that synergy, you want to have that healing wave maxed out ASAP, and a lot of damage for that. But I think with the low armor on Pebbles, and he's playing more of that, just constantly hitting, harassing support, I think the Q actually could be a pretty powerful ability to have leveled up instead for him to use it on Pebbles frequently and help Corrupted. But he's going to
he decides to go for the healing wave. And on the same note, if you check out the scaling on healing wave, you get 20 more heal per on an individual, and if you take 1 skill point from the healing wave into the Unbreakable, all of a sudden you have 125 extra healing if it breaks. So I don't know, that's like 5 times as much healing per skill level.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's definitely a skill point that brings you a lot of value.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what he decides to do, if he completely goes the healing wave and Entangle build.
I will say this: there is definitely some pretty good synergy too with him and the Corrupted and the Storm Cloud. It's a lot of physical on top of the Overload being put out. There's a lot of minus armor potential here that they're going to be doing in an AoE presence. Now, we do see some rotations, by the way, coming out of the pause here. Pebbles, but he poured at the top, actually, so they realized that was not a comfortable lane for Fuzzy Sloth there at the bottom lane. They figured, want to get him some farm here at the top lane, so the rotations are happening now. As Demented, though, will end up top, though, with Cthulhu Font. Cthulhu Font is going to be gone right here with Parasite nearby, but here comes Demented Shaman. There's the return damage on Pebbles. He says, get off me. Madman is nearby as well. Does Cthulhu Font have enough mana for a trample? He does. As Demented Shaman getting low, he has a healing. He could have get it off if he used it right there. He was trying to line it up with the creep wave. I think he got a little greedy. He was waiting to use it right there. He might have still died, but that could have been big.
Yeah, that I feel like he should have probably just gone for the safe play and seen what I've gotten from that. Because you're right, like he just died without using any spells because he went a little bit greedy. Magnus in the mid lane, Doctor's Invis.
That could be a kill. Aluna, Redstone. No, well, Redstone only level 3, but okay, it's not going to be enough. So I don't know if you can see a big stun right there, but a little too early on in the game for that to be the case. So Magnus stuns away and is going to be fine despite the Invis rune. So yeah, this is the issue though with I think this Pebbles rotation. I mean, I think it's necessary that you want to get a short lane farm, but he's not going to get free farm by any means either.
Nope, they're not really helping him at all. One thing as well about that previous play, Boxy didn't stun. Like, he had the stun up for a while, and he didn't stun Pebbles. I was like, why are we not? Why didn't he just stun the Pebbles, lock him down, and then kill him? I think Boxy also wanted to land the stun on more people, so greedy plays. But yeah, like Pebbles, Aluna, right now BMG has the lineup they want.
Oh.
Okay, no. The lineup they want. They have Cthulhu Fan, Disham versus Pebbles Luna. That's Pebbles with low armor. He's definitely gonna take a lot of damage from the healing wave. But okay, they decide to completely leave the lane.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you talk about wanting these lanes right here. I mean, Corrupted Disciple is literally free farming this bottom lane right now. He's been doing so for a while. In fact, he's gonna get a free tower kill out of this. Unless we see BMG report in now to try to help defend / even to go for the deny. I don't think that's happening though. So, and here comes Wildso, who's by the way level 7. You got to remind yourself of that, and he's making sure that Complexity's aware. As middle lane, they get a kill on a Formless. Dr. Repulsor, he ends up getting caught. Unfortunately, didn't catch that action, but Magnus and Cthulhu Fawn are able to stun together for a kill. So, yeah, these rotations of Complexity, it's almost like they weren't sure of how to really do it in the end. They sent Pebbles top, but then they seemed a little lost from there. And it's kind of backfired here. I mean, they've lost a tower. They lose their middle Formless here playing the Doctor. And the middle tower is now also in some trouble.
Yeah, it's just the rotations from BMG. Oh my, look at that damage from also.
Oh wow.
he dropped. He was almost full. That was a Madman landing a barrel roll on both him and Boo Boo dying from it. That's definitely scary as well.
Yeah. Do not underestimate that right there. So he is going to be fine in the end. He actually bought a life tube right there. So I think we're going to see he might be going for that Helm of the Black Legion build. Well, that tends to be one of the build choices on Wild Soul.
The hero is just not as tanky as you want it to be with the damage amplification from Amplifier in Boo Boo, basically. So the magic damage just hits you very hard. So I'd say Helm of Black Legion is definitely a core in Wild Soul.
Nope, top lane, Parasite. He's running into Cthulhu Fawn right here. Again, not necessarily a friendly target for him to run into. He's going to fall back before anything scary happens. Demented Shaman sitting up here. He's only level 3 still, actually. So Fusen hasn't managed to get really the most levels here. We'll say that. He is at level 4, though, in the process, and he's going to continue leveling up the Q right here, the Entangle. So Beastart is purchased by Wild Soul, so that Helm of the Black Legion is coming. Man, look at the GPM right now and the chart and just how much it favors Bad Monkey Gaming. It's like the whole team's just on another level than that of Complexity. Meanwhile, back to the top lane, Man Shaman is going to be found. 4 players here. Oh, that's an awkward trample. He hit the tree right there, and he is going to end up falling. Magnus now stuns, and here comes Corrupted Disciple. Looking for some turns now. Conduit's up. It is going to take out Parasite. Aluna running right into the face of Corrupted. Corrupted's hitting really hard right now. This is risky, but it is going to work out as Pebbles lands the chuck and gets the kill. Not having Wild Soul there. Definitely the biggest issue, I think, for BMG. I don't think that's his fault, though. It's just they got a little too committed for not having everyone there. And a hat trick for Fuzzy Sloth in the end. So, I mean, I guess they get a middle tower kill in response to his Wild Soul, but, man, that was not pretty for BMG there.
No, definitely. And actually, he didn't hit the tree. Doctor just managed to stun him.
Oh.
There's some funny interactions between these kind of like Valkyrie leaps and Cthulhu Fan stuff. If Magnus managed to catch you leaping or stunning, or if Doctor does, it just breaks. The stun stops. So that like Doctor just Formless landing a really, really well timed stun on Cthulhu Fan, cutting off his trample, and then killing him. So really great plays from Complexity, and yeah, that's the problem with Wild Soul as well. It's kind of like he's not that active. He's never been a very active hero, and this time around, Root, he doesn't have boots.
Yeah,
he can't really be active in a team fight either.
That's true. You see Corrupted Disciple. I mean, yeah, it definitely goes back to the makeup, though. It's like a Corrupted hero pick. It tends to be more of that kind of carry, yet as you're just pointing out, and we were talking about, I mean, Wild Soul is not necessarily that big addition in that aspect. As I say that, though, he is going to join the rest of the team here at the top lane. And they're going to easily push in this tower. Pebbles did manage to get his portal key already. Now, getting a hat trick right there is definitely the thing that excelled him to get it this quickly. Again, he was having a little bit of a tough start, but, man, he ends up getting a 10.5-minute portal key all of a sudden. So that's really big for complexity, and we'll see what they're able to make of that. If BMG keeps pushing here, I mean, BMG is still very strong when it comes to team fight. So
definitely,
I don't know if complexity can defend this, actually.
I think they can, but it comes down to the Pebbles initiation. He needs to land initiation on, like, not on Wassel, but on Magmus.
Oh, he lands a nice combo right there. Actually, holy crap, he nearly tied right off the back. Into the Fuzz in trouble, and cut to the Fuzz, gonna fall. Fuzzy Sloth, you asked for a big initiation, he comes through big time. Wild Soul's gonna fall. Parasite, he's in trouble in the background. He will end up going down. They lost Madman as well, but no doubt complexity. They're holding them off right here. They're looking for more kills. Got through the Fuzz, gonna try to juke away. I don't think that's gonna happen though. Pebbles, excuse me, ends up stunning, but nice trample through actually, and he will ultimately get away. The power throw just comes up short. Magmus also stuns through, and he starts running to victory. Well, to get away more so. Well, so I guess it ends up a 2 for 2, but. Man, that hold right there, and they got Corrupted Disciple and a Wild Soul in the end too. So, complexity's got to be pretty satisfied with that exchange there.
Just as I say that they need this big initiation, Fuzzy's like, all right, Saint, let me show you, and he tosses a Cthulhu Fan on CD and stuns both of them, followed up by the Madman Bella rolled, and that just secured a solid fight. They still didn't like, I mean. The Magmus and Cthulhu Fan still survived, and I think Wassel, did he go down? He did go down.
Yeah.
So still a one fight for complexity, but you could easily see if that initiation hadn't been as good as it were, that fight could have easily been in favor of BMG. So still, that was just hot. That was really hot from Fuzzy.
Fuzzy Sloth definitely coming through big time here. Not only the hat trick previous fight, but now the double tap this last fight. He's 4-0-1 all of a sudden. I guess on the double tap, but still, he assisted in one kill, got another, and 4-0-1. All of a sudden, he's nearly 400, 380 gold per minute. He's actually up there with top in the game. But let's not get too excited if you're complexity at the same time. You still have, you look at the farm, and it's still very impressive on the side of BMG as a whole. Cthulhu Fan, Wild Soul, and Corrupted Disciple, actually, are all managing very, very good farm themselves. And you see the early build-up here. I mean, the Helm of the Black Legion, now he has boots here on Wild Soul. So obviously, that's going to help. Mystic Vestments is being made a priority. In fact, all those 3 heroes now have Mystic Vestments here, so that's going to be obviously beneficial for them. I think right now the biggest downside for BMG is, honestly, Demented Shaman is still level 4, man. They need him at least level 6 here if they're going to be pushing. Because that Storm Cloud, it's a very, very powerful ability to assist with pushes here, so he's trying. But.
I mean, Fusne is not a good support to have on these supports that needs a lot of XP, because he's a very like sacrificial support player in the sense that he will sacrifice himself a lot for his team in order for them to get a lot of good farm. He will sit and stack and not necessarily get a whole lot of XP. And DCM is just not the right hero to do that on, as you pointed out. That hero really needs levels to be a strong support. And right now, Fusne is level 4. Pretty much, Parasite kills him last. Oh, mid lane.
Well, they're going to try for something right here. Madman off the bat is dead just like that. This time, Fuzzy Sloth, not the greatest initiation. And this could backfire for him and his team. Complexity, yep, they're in trouble now. Down goes Fuzzy Sloth. In fact, Doctor, what was he doing hanging around? He is going to be able to ludicrous speed away, but that got really scary for a second. Almost fed another kill on top of that. But this is definitely going to be the tower kill with the hero kills prior to it. So praising Fuzzy Sloth plenty, but honestly this fight, his initiation failed, and we saw the result of the fight. If he's not able to land a good initiation going into these fights, they should not expect to win them, as we see there. So big for BMG, and they get there. They're starting to roll here now.
Definitely, they're gonna take the next tower in line here, and on top of that, Magmus just finished his pole key. That means that even if Fuzzy lands a good ulti, there's going to be a Magmus sitting somewhere in the shadows, channeling his ulti on the Hellborn side here, and that's scary.
Cthulhu Fan going a little too far ahead, but man, he's tanky enough. He's gonna barely live. Demented Shaman helping with that as well. And here comes the return. Magnus Eruption coming through. Pebbles going to end up dying. The team fight clearly just too strong right now from Bad Monkey Gaming, and it just continues. Dr. Repulsor, he's trying to commit to a kill on Magnus, but at what cost here? Ludicrous speed away. He will be fine, actually. And we do see BMG making a point not to go too deep right here. But Wild Soul was the whole fight. I mean, he's good to go. Like, he's still really strong here. And he is now another 1,400 gold saved up. So there's so much gold in this game right now overall. But Bad Monkey Gaming is definitely reaping the benefits of it here as they get yet another tower kill. That is already 5 tower kills at nearly 16 minutes into the game.
Yep.
So that's not good for complexity.
Not at all. And, you know, Wazo, he might not be the best hard carry. And, I mean, you know, people are like, yeah, he can get 12 slotted. I mean, I've never seen that happen. I probably never will. But so right now, in my opinion, Wazo is not a very good late game oriented hero. But early game, like around like in the 20s, like past the 20 minutes before the 30 minutes mark, he's a very strong carry in mid lane. Sorry.
Well, Cthulhu Font's actually, I don't know what this was about. In fact, Magma stuns in, but they're really just giving them one by one. This is horrible by BMG. They literally were just feeding one by one, and Magnus is going to follow suit with that. As here we go. Yep, Pebbles will finish him off. That was just, Dimenachama was dead. There was no point to even remotely try. Cthulhu Font did try. He goes down. Magnus then stuns in very late, after Cthulhu Font's already dead, in fact. And he ends up dying as a result of it. So, man, PMG not helping their cause here as far as trying to win this game. And Complexity will gladly take it, though, as they're not going to push themselves, but oh, wow.
I find that BMG is a team that they love Han a lot. They love Han so much that sometimes they will just go and get themselves killed so the game can last a little bit longer. That's how much they love Han sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably something they want to work on as well. Because they are definitely good at you know, playing the throw ball game of Han. And that was kind of it. That, I mean, they don't want to. If you throw this game, there's a Madman, there's a Doctor as well. They're going to be able to outcarry CD, and they'll be able to outcarry Wassel as well. So this game should be cut off by BMG when they get the chance. They can't make these mistakes of having silly initiations and just feeding away kills. That's not going to work. They still have the game They still have the game, but they need to tighten up and you know, possibly. I would like to see them go for the last outer tier towers top, get some wards in the jungle, and then take Conquer, and then start pressuring base towers. That's what their course of action should be, in my opinion.
I gotta say, there's a couple of things I'm really questioning on BMG's side too. One is the Corrupt Disciple item build in general. Now, I mean, a Firebrand, a Frostbrand, a Geometer's Band, even decides to go that, I mean, that's not bad. It's definitely not a bad choice, but I think with how much they're grouping up and pushing here, the Staff of the Master probably would be the better choice. It is such a good ability, or such a good tool to have in all these constant team fights that are clearly taking place, and that's the priority here. So I think that's something you can kind of question a little bit. But then also the bigger thing for me is Fusen. We were mentioning how he was under level. He's level 4 for the longest time. He's level 7 now, yet he doesn't have Stormcloud yet. And that is just mind-boggling to me. It is such a powerful tool for, especially, again, if you're team fighting. Why you would not want to get Stormcloud is beyond me. But he doesn't have it yet. So, I mean, I hope that he gets it here soon for the sake of the team. But, I mean, do you think I'm overreacting there, or do you agree?
I mean, these team fights are usually prolonged by quite a bit. Maybe he's thinking that in the dream scenario of Complexity, they're going to be jumping in with Pebbles, getting a kill, and then leaving with Doctor as well. You know, they're pretty mobile heroes, so maybe that's why he decides not to go the ulti, because he thinks they're just going to go for a quick in and out in that case. Okay. But I think the ulti would be the correct choice here as well. It's as you say, it's a very strong tool, and it can force people back. If you're pushing a tower, you just ulti the enemy team or you ulti your team while the tower is dropping, and they're not going to be going for you. That's a free tower. Yeah. Exactly.
It is.
So yeah, I would like to see him get that Stormcloud ASAP as well.
Well, again, level 7 here, so we'll see. Keep an eye on that, definitely, as far as when he gets it. So, what about Corrupted's build? I mean, again, going back to that, though, too. He goes a Firebrand here. What do you think of it? And should he maybe gone different, or is this fine?
I feel like you can't really punk at the CD for going Firebrand. It's a good chasing ability. It gives him movement speed. It gives him agility. It's good overall. I do want to say that the staff on him is very strong. Makes him tanky enough to survive a Pebbles initiation as well with the D-Champ behind him. So I hope he's going to go staff. But now that I think about it, he might be going geometers just to get some base pushing going, like just for popping the geo and then hitting base towers. Maybe that's his idea. They could have a strat like, all right, Balthazar, you build Geobane, then we have Brood in front and with Cthulhu, and you pop your illusions, and they just hit the tower, and then we fall back and repeat until the tower is dead. Maybe that's what they want to do. I'm not sure. In that case, it makes sense that he's following the bigger directive, but I would definitely like to see staff as well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say what you got is reconnected here, so going to be good to go and resume on with game number 2 now. You got the puzzle box on Paris. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, too. It's a great point about how if you're BMG here, I mean, sure, you've been snowballing, you've been looking good, but again, the stats suggest you're not really a huge lead, and if you look at the goal per minute charts, I mean, Doctor's actually farming very well here. Pebbles and Madman are both doing actually just pretty well themselves, and even Parasite mentioned already having the puzzle box here, not too shabby. So sure, BMG is doing very good themselves, but Complexity happens to be doing all right themselves too. So yeah, definitely not getting too comfortable here. If you're Bad Monkey Gaming, is for sure something to keep in mind. What do you think about Root of Z not getting boots on his bear, by the way? I've been looking at that, and he actually hasn't had boots on his bear this whole game here.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That bear is not... It's fast, but, you know, it's not fast enough to just not get boots, and I feel like that's definitely something you need to get in Boo Boo. The chase potential just goes up so high. I don't know, even if you're just pushing towers, boots are still good on Boo Boo. Yeah. I feel like that's a mistake. Oh, but that's it. They look at that. They're going base.
They say we want to put the pressure on here, and that's going to really turn it on definitely for Complexity. So we'll see how they respond to this. The Aluna stun to start. You see a chuck on a Cthulhu in the background. Is that the prime target? I don't know if it is. He has that hook him up. Magnus comes in with the counter. Parasite will use the face side, but nobody dead just yet. So Cthulhu really showing that he is not an easy target to kill, if you weren't aware of that already. And down goes the tower. So yeah, I don't know if Pebbles necessarily had the best target choice there.
It's really questionable. First of all, they let the tower take half HP before they think about initiating. That's way too much against the push team that want to end the game. You want to make your base towers last as long as possible, so it's hard for the enemy team to go uphill. They just let them take it.
Yeah.
And then Pebbles went on Cthulhu mid lane. Cthulhu.
And he's going to be pulled back in. You see Pebbles following it up, and this time they are going to be able to kill him, it looks like. So he was a little too far away from that supporting cast, and they got the good jump onto him. So yeah, Cthulhu hanging around Boxy a little too long there. He's, for whatever reason, he gets caught yet again, and here comes the push now from the Hellborn side. They've only got the one tower kill themselves. They just got recently at the bottom lane, but it's apparently not going to be a free tower push as Magnus comes in with the eruption. Doctor's caught, but he's able to respond. Pebbles goes in response himself with the stalagmites, gets a counter onto Magnus. Demented Shaman also killed shortly after. Meanwhile, checking on Wildsoul. Wildsoul's dropping. Wildsoul looks like he is going to fall. Yes, Wildsoul will go down. Everybody's still alive on Complexity. How is this happening? Corrupted as Cypher goes down. It's a genocide with no deaths. Unbelievable. That is not what I saw coming when you think these team fights here. Holy crap. 12,000 experience lead all of a sudden. What happened? I don't even know.
I feel like yeah, I'm having a hard time describing this as well, but that was just like hardcore outplays from Complexity. Every fight I've seen, Parasite jumps Demented Shaman and kills him before he gets off his spells. So that's already 4v5 there.
Yeah.
And then the fact I think that Pebbles caught Like Magma's caught. He used his initiation on Doctor, and Doctor just flew away after they. And that's a lockdown they have. That's a Magma stun. That's the lockdown they need to use on Madman or Pebbles or Parasite to kill them. They used that on Doctor, who could just fly away, and then Doctor, he just popped back in when he could, and Pebbles like Fuzzy stuff landing some good stuns, and yeah, that was just all in all just really sloppy team fighting from BMG.
Yeah, this is just, I don't know. It really, BMG just coupled it just, yeah, I don't even think that was bad. You're right. I don't even think that was just a bad by BMG. That was really just well played by Complexity. It must have been. And man, okay, Demented Shaman, he does get the Storm Cloud now. Yeah, I was really looking for that in level 8 here, so now he has it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my god, this game would be completely different if he had it earlier, but here we go. He's going to use it right there, actually, as they find a jump, apparently. But Dr. Pulsar, he has a token here. He's flying around looking to counter, and Demented Shaman is going to be picked off. Doctor getting low, doesn't want to purposely die. Pebbles comes in with the assistance. Corrupted Disciple will go down. Wild still well alive. Doctor, look at that icon of the goddess. Charges working. 14 charges on that, by the way, all of a sudden as well. He comes back up after the token line, pulls back into Wild Soul, and Complexity is going to win yet another fight with losing nobody. Another genocide, another 5-0. Complexity making statements here in game number 2.
Yeah, I think that's the deal breaker. I don't think they can come back from this on BMG's side. Like, Madman just got enough for his shrunken head if he wants to. He can also just finish his brutalizer, and every time Demented gets picked up as the first person on his team, then they can just focus down the CD, who's really squishy actually, like 1400 health. That's not a lot. So Pebbles can just go on CD. There's no heal for him, and CD will just drop to the Doctor, chasing him down.
Yeah.
This is just Complexity. Knowing what they want. They know that they want to initiate on Demented Shaman, and they get the execution down every single fight, and that makes them just come out ahead. And on BMG's side, it feels like they don't really know what they want to, who they want to go for.
It feels like they don't even know, or not that they don't know, but the decision to. They're kind of like an in-between team right here. Like, clearly they're a team fight. They're pushing. They committed to that strategy pretty early on. And, yes, that proved to be, actually, that worked out very well, right? I mean, they cleared out 5 of the 6 towers very early on in the game we were talking about earlier. Hell, they even pushed into the base prior to Old's downfall all of a sudden. And things were looking really good. But I feel like they for some reason, they're feeling like that they didn't necessarily pick an all-in early push team. I mean, Corrupted Disciple and Wild Soul are both heroes that can, by all means, sure, you can argue if they're going to be able to out-carry ultimately in the end until you're blue in the face, but they could have definitely fallen back and played a lot more comfortable, played more of the farming game for at least 5 to 10 minutes, gotten the shrunken heads, gotten some priority items, and then tried to force the issue and finish the game, sure. But they're really, I mean, here we go again even. I mean, they feel like that they're on this timeline, which now they might be, to be fair, because they have fallen so far behind. But earlier, I don't think that was the case. And we're going to see this initiation once again. In fact, the red stun on a while, so let's start things off early off. He is taking a lot of damage. Stormcloud in the background. Madman's back here with the shrunken head. Magma's getting low, going to be fine. But Wild Soul? Yep, Wild Soul goes down. He was split out from his team completely. He is the only one dead so far. Meanwhile, Corrupted Disciple, Conduit, doesn't really have any charges on him, it looks like. In fact, now he's going to be jumped by Pebbles in response. Madman barely staying alive, and Madman will live in the long run. Down goes Magnus. Corrupted is going to be chased down. Cthulhu Fought goes down again. It's going to be another 5-0 genocide. GG, well played, is being called. That'll do it for game 2. Complexity, what a performance there in game number 2. And no doubt got to give them all the credit in the world, too. I mean, they played that phenomenally. As the game went on, and they somehow won it at 24 minutes when it looked like they were going to be the ones having their base pushed in. I'm still just at a loss for words, honestly, even though I'm saying a lot, but that was crazy.
Yeah, they definitely went on the push with a CD that didn't have the HP to really be all in already. And I agree with you. After the first failed attempt, they should really just have. They should have either fell back, farmed a little bit more in CD, get the shrunken head perhaps, and then went in, But the biggest problem were probably the fact that they only had Magma's initiation. Boxy deciding to go Helm as well as well. So their catch potential were really low against Doctor and Madman, who are really like slippery heroes that just they will leave you as soon as they're not stun locked. And I think that was a problem as well. They decided to try to like go for these base team fights, and then Magnus would maybe not land the initiation as he needed to, and all of a sudden Complexity would turn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I mean, all credit to Complexity, of course. They played this phenomenally. That was really well executed from them. So yeah, definitely Complexity showing what they're made of here. Getting the 1 point here, fighting for the 1 point.
Yeah, it's updating in the brackets or that the group stages right here, and yeah, as you pointed out, 1 point for each. So Complexity, hey, it's better than nothing, and also prevents BMG from getting what would have been 2 extra points for them as well. So you do see the group standings right here. Now this should be updated. Yeah, it looks like it is. So BMG, I mean, currently is in first place, but they've also played the most matches. Obviously, they've played 4 matches now that they have down with the 5 points right there. So it's a solid start, but you got to think that they were feeling really good there in that game, and all of a sudden they lost it. It seemed like 5 to 10 minutes later. I mean, it really was just ridiculous. But that means are they done for the day? Let me double check on that. Let's see the schedule once again. Right here. No, they're going to be playing Rexar's Reborn actually next year. So again, they're really continuing the grind here as far as a lot of matches here. Rexar's Reborn, definitely not a team to underestimate either. They split the series against Fresh, I believe it was, yesterday with a 1-1 there. So definitely a team that's up and coming and one to reckon. So looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. But the series that we are going to be casting is X-Sync versus Complexity Gaming, and it looks like they're even already starting to get ready in the lobby. So we got to go on that break.